You know, we got to witness another great Chosen Few Fighting Championship last night at Monona Terrace. The crowd was into it for Chosen Few Fighting Championships number 12, but they get really loud when they take a look at their own Chosen Few champions, and these guys, I think, get the loudest ovations of all. So we bring in Alex Gilpin and Mark Lemminger, two of the champs. Alex, you got to defend your title, or actually, defend your title at 145. Let's talk about that match. Now, a lot of what you've been doing lately has been getting into what they call the championship rounds, going into the fourth round a lot. You didn't take your time last night, did you?
No, and I think that previous experience of my last two fights being in those championship rounds, then I kind of know, I'm comfortable going. I can easily go 25 minutes if I have to. But, let's get that finish early if we can and get out of there. Yeah,
and you did last night. And talk about it. What were you able to do? You obviously have the wrestling background. You've been working a lot more on the striking, and it seems like you're putting the whole game together now, aren't you?
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, too, with mixed martial arts is a lot of people really train the arts individually and don't combine them. And at Chosen Few, great coaches, great training partners, and that's really something we emphasize and work on a lot is being complete mixed martial artists and putting everything together. That's the biggest thing.
Some of that wrestling background for you started down in Texas. You won a state championship down there. How did you end up making your way from San Antonio to Madison?
I ended up getting a scholarship at UW, and I wrestled a year, and I really kind of lost love for the sport, and I ended up quitting wrestling and eventually switched over to MMA, and that's really kind of what I've been doing ever since. So.
Yeah, it's definitely worked out for you. The record continues to improve as well. And so let's talk about what you said after the match. You got a chance to talk with Chris Garrity in the ring. You mentioned a name out there in Dana White, that maybe you want to jump in with him. Talk about where your career is leading you right now.
Hopefully I'll get this opportunity to travel overseas next month in Finland. That'd be a great opportunity for me. If I can get another couple wins together, that'd be great, At this point in the game, if you're not outspoken and kind of direct about what you want, you might not get it, so figured give it a shot.
Yeah, and I think you got a shot. It's all coming together for you now that the game seems to be complete, and we absolutely love watching you fight. Great victory on Friday night. Now, Mark Lemminger, you were at the top of the card defending your title against a pretty crafty veteran in Patrick Delgado. This went down to a split decision, a poke in the eye that kind of stopped the action. Nobody likes to win with the poke in the eye kind of a thing. Talk about how that fight finished. How do you feel coming out of it?
Yeah, it's unfortunate how it finished. I started out a little flat. I don't know exactly why that was. I don't really have any excuses for it. He was a great competitor and a tough fighter. But yeah, it's unfortunate how it finished, but there's really nothing I can do about it. I went down to the judge's decision and they gave it to me. So a win's a win, I guess, and I got to learn from it.
Absolutely, and it was spellbinding. I mean, it went right down to the last second. Chris Garrity, the cage announcer, held on to the and still as long as he could. The crowd came alive to their feet. They were very excited about it, and you really have a connection to the fans, it seems. How have you been able to build that connection over time?
Well, I come from a small town in Johnson's Creek there, and there's really not a lot going on there. So when you have a guy come out of Johnson's Creek and he's fighting in Madison and the main event of some shows, it gets people out, to come watch me just because it's a small town and it's neat to see a kid from a small town do something like that. And the place I work, I sell tons of tickets there too. I got a lot of support, and I appreciate it.
And they are vocal and behind you, and not a lot going on. I mean, you got the Gobbler, you got the Outlet Mall. There's a lot going on in Johnson Creek.
I guess there's a lot going on.
Love the Creek. So, it's a family affair, it seems like, for you as well. I had a chance before the fight. I talked to your dad, came up to me. We had a good conversation. Your sister was talking to me as well. How much does family play a part in what you're doing?
Oh, they're everything. They help out a lot, and any way they can, they help out. And my sister, she does a great job with like the social media end of things, because that's not my forte at all. I get out there and I'll do the fighting end of it, but when it comes to marketing myself, she really helps out with that. So my family's a huge part of it.
Now, it's kind of funny as we're looking at both of you right now sitting there. It looks like one of you was definitely in a fight, and it looks like one of you wasn't. Mark, talk about the face a little bit. You got a little beat up. How are you doing as well coming off an injury? You had a broken nose when we saw you in Chosen Few number 10. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I don't. Lately it seems to be a trend with me getting a little damaged during my fights. I don't know. My style's kind of always been a brawler. I gotta work on that a little bit and work on not taking as much damage. But like I said, every fight I tried my best to learn from it and become out a better fighter. And this was, this was my 12th fight overall, and they're not all gonna go perfect. So I ended up still, sealing the win, and I'm gonna build off of it and come out a better fighter. That's all I can do.
Chosen Few goes back to the Monona Terrace in January. Are we going to see both of you guys there?
I think you will.
Oh yeah, we'll see. I might fight in December in Minnesota if I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. It'd be good to see you defending those straps once again. I know everybody will be pumped up for it as well. Gentlemen, great fights. You can see them right here on Channel 57, 57 Sports all weekend long, so make sure that you check it out. Alex Gilpin, Mark Lemminger, champions from the Chosen Few. Fellas, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. Appreciate it.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.